It's the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I see everyone here for the first infrastructure of the year. And hope everyone had a chance to review the minutes. Looking for approval. By legislator Holt, second by legislator Lockett. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries. Resolutions. First one up, IT1, resolution authorizing expenditure from capital reserve number 21, buildings renovations to capital project C0225, legislative office building rooftop chiller replacement. First by legislator Martino, second by legislator Holt. Anybody want to say anything in there? Self-explanatory, but that's thanks, Tom. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Carries. IT2, resolution authorizing the reclassification of one position in the solid waste department energy recovery facility. So a motion move to discussion. Move. First by legislator Yurden, second by legislator Lockwood. I just wanted to say, I know how we all skin kind of crawls when we get these reclassifications, especially so early into the year. But I know upon speaking with Mike, it was a unique situation. You want to say anything?
Yeah, this is something Joe and I have been looking at for a while. The person that held the mechanic 2 position is not an A mechanic. Tried to move on this last year. I would have given somebody something that they couldn't do. Now, he vacated the position in December, late November, early December. So going forward, we feel it's better to have a 5th A mechanic, and as part of the A mechanic's job description to gain the rolling stock. So we're going to spread the work out that the one guy did over 5 people, and that also gives us more of a millwright individual to do plant work. Rolling stock is at PM and those things.
Chairman,
Understood.
I just would like to add that it was vetted through Human Resources and Bill Church.
Yeah. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it carries. IT3, resolution authorizing budget modification insurance recovery to Department of Solid Waste unappropriated fund balance. First by legislator Martino, second by legislator Yurden. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. IT4, resolution authorizing budget modification, Department of Solid Waste unappropriated fund balance to landfills and transfer stations, repairs and maintenance equipment account. First by legislator Martino, second by legislator Holst.
As in my info memo, this is a machine that we currently own. It is worn. I had Caterpillar inspect it about a year ago. It is a rebuildable frame and chassis, so CAT will take this and put it through their research program, strip it down to the bare frame. They'll machine any areas that need to be machined and bush, new bearings, all of that. Reman engine, new or reman transmission, and all new components, undercarriage of the works. So we basically get a as new machine back with a real good warranty, 3-year, 5,000 hours. So this versus a new machine's just shy of $1 million. I think I'm spending money wisely doing this.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Okay.
Good way to think it out of the box. Yep. That.
Absolutely. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. Wow. That was it for resolutions. That was pretty quick. Huh? That was good. Understood. On the committee review and decision, first is bid 24 HW003 sign blanks. I don't see Holly.
Yeah, Holly isn't here, but she put it out to bid. We went with, well, there was 4 places they went, and Vulcan Sign was the cheapest. From our previous ones was Newman Signs, and it was $5,000 cheaper. So we went with the cheaper ones.
Very good.
And we did Ted Falcon before, so we got good relationships with them, so.
I'm gonna make a motion to accept.
Okay, motion to accept by legislator Martino, second by legislator Yurden. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. And next item up, Oswego County Airport Private Aviation Hangar Land Lease. Yeah,
What this is, it's an existing privately owned hangar. The gentleman's father passed away last year. The estate is finally settled. So we just like to renew the lease in his son's name. He owns all of the airplanes that his father had. There's 4 airplanes that he owns in the hangar. He's a young gentleman. He's actually flying commercially right now for airlines. And he is going to be, I believe, very beneficial to the airport. And I'll punt on that a little bit when we get to the department updates. But it would be in our best interest to renew this lease with this gentleman.
understood. Okay, for a motion to accept, first by legislator Lockwood, legislator Yurden. Anyone have any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed. First department up is B&G. Go ahead, Rick.
B&G, Bunner Street, the biggest project. Still looking to finish the first floor up there in the next couple weeks. Have assigned counsel moving in, public defenders moving in, and the office of the agent moving in. From there, we'll finish the second floor and go from there. Other than that, the glass sky project's getting sent out to bid, and now we're working on rooftop here.
All right, I know that seems to have been the never-ending project over
It's the money pit.
there. We knew it was an old building and, actually, I think at this point, we probably could have built it.
I don't know, it's probably debatable, but yeah.
Rick, did they take and tear a piece of wall off around a window when they estimated that building?
No.
Now, that's the highest condensation area you'll ever encounter in a building, that or doorway.
Mm-hmm.
And these engineers didn't even take an hour, could have been done by your guys. Just tear the piece off and then poly it and look at the condition, see if there was evidence of mold, moisture, which would have told a larger story that was happening. I just can't help but think it's almost a legal action. It's so bad. And we got so many layers of people.
Right. Whenever, like the windows, I think we probably questioned it. I think a lot of this stuff was if it was unnoticed, if there was no damage there to start with, there was no reason for them to look in to some of those areas.
To estimate it, there would be no reason.
For some of those, yeah. We questioned on a few different areas, and that's what was said. And, we weren't going to be doing work on the outside of the building. We were just going to replace the windows, so there was no reason to look at the siding if it wasn't damaged already.
Right, but I'm just saying, look at the inside of the building.
Right.
Just tear off an area around an entire window. I asked engineers, I asked contractors, how would you do that? That's like the norm.
Yeah, no.
So I feel they really took us on like the worst sleigh ride. I'm trying to put together every change order in my spare time, but it's outrageous.
No, the change orders have been ridiculous up there.
It's
It's over
outrageous.
200. Mm-hmm.
I'm questioning if you don't have a lawsuit or something, but it's unbelievable.
True.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree with you.
You do?
I do.
Okay, write that down.
However,
Put it in
however,
minutes.
Anybody a notary?
Put it in.
however, being in the profession that I'm in, I've seen where they've done exactly what you said. And there's no issue. And then the bid goes out, things come back, and then as you're working through the rest of the building, you'll find that issue somewhere else, even checking it. Although I do wholeheartedly agree with you as far as all the change orders and the mess that we're in with this. even if they had done that and came back and said, yep, there's nothing there, it looks good, you may have run into that situation somewhere else. So I have to look at it on both sides of that. Now, having said that, like I said, with all the change orders and everything else, there's been issues elsewhere that I believe that we should be looking into as well. So
And we got so many layers of people here.
that's the
This
thing.
is
That's the thing. We're gonna have to
insane.
weed through that. We really are gonna have to weed through that. I know Rick's been working on some of that. The chairman's been working on some of that. I know Mike's been looking into it. So there's a lot more that's gonna be looked at before this is over. So
So, I mean, I've talked at length with the contractor who's made more money than all of us in the room 10 times over. And he couldn't believe. I talked to just a regular structural engineer who's related to me, so he doesn't even want to be mentioned, just probably due to relation. But he said it's called due diligence. It's just a simple, not complicated thing. And I just feel like we've been taken to the cleaners.
I know I've said a number of times that our bid specs, I mean, we talked about it before, things that have been done in different departments, we definitely have to get something together because they're not clear. And when you're not specific, you know, I'm not saying that it wasn't specific, but obviously we should have done deeper from the beginning. Geez, thanks for that.
There you go. I mean, it's not you, Rick. I would be really hesitant to work with CNS at this point, right? And everybody else on the project.
Understand, on the highway.
Well, you can see we had a somewhat normal winter from before. So we've been 19 days straight on the road. We had plow crews out for 19 straight days because of ice, snow, and all that. But
wind.
wind, oh yeah, you gotta have someone there for wind blowing.
Yeah.
So on the other note, that's what we're mainly doing is, and we had the snow blowers out in 3 different townships, big snow blowers, taking care of them. Villages, Mexico, Plasky, Parish. Well, we didn't go to Valley.
I did.
Oh, you went over to Valley, yes you did, sorry.
I know salt has been an issue in a number of towns. Everything was backed up to deliveries.
I'm just gonna get on that right now, Joe.
I'm sure you have to go ahead.
Well, on that, I put in an order a couple weeks ago, and I finally got, can't remember the numbers, like 900 ton, and I ordered 30,000 ton. So I got 900 ton.
All right.
So where am I gonna go? I'm almost out. So I've been in contact with the state. They outsourced it, went somewhere else. I tried to outsource it. They said, no, I'm on a waiting list with them. Everybody's getting away from this one company, I guess.
Right.
I mean, it's not just us, there's state, everybody.
Right. I know there's been a lot of issues out there.
Yeah.
I know the people put their orders in the same time as they usually do, and they weren't coming, I'd say, well, you know, usually there's a little leeway, you understand, people get backed up. But then when we had the winter we had, a lot of people truly don't get that to be on the roads, as you know, it's more temperature driven than it
Right.
is snowfall.
Yeah.
And you go through the material.
Yes. So on another note on that, we've been robbing Peter to pay Paul from one garage to another just to keep salt.
Right.
So they don't have to drive 30 miles one way to get salt. So
Understood. Anything else?
that's about it for now.
Okay, thank you. On to solid waste.
We're putting the finishing touches on the last guy. I'm gonna try to open tomorrow, but we were chasing hydraulic leaks this morning when I was up there. The guys were completing some welding on feet and chasing those hydraulic leaks. So if we don't open it tomorrow, we should be able to open it Friday. So we're this close. So that's the last guy. We're expecting delivery of our 2 new road tractors, I hope Friday, so I can get Sean back his road tractor, so we can keep hauling our leachate.
3 of them.
He only had 2.
You got 3.
So those are really the two big things on the landfill side. The IRF side, we are currently underway with our feasibility study. BNL has been on site a few times. I drug Dean Mason out of retirement to assist with this. So he and I have had some conversations and we're working through some things. As part of the project, I did have some money left in there for some non-destructive testing. So there's a few things I'm going to get done in the next month on some tanks. And I'm hoping to have a summary for our April cycle. It'll be May at the latest. So that's where we're at. That's the big stuff.
Understood.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, thank you. On to the airport.
Pass these around. So the gentleman that we just renewed the lease with, he had approached me, commercial airline pilot. He's also managing a couple of other people's airplanes. Most of them are at Syracuse Airport. So he has approached me and he would like to build a hangar. It's so small, but it's this first one right here. We're trying to keep it off of an old fire pond that was built there years ago. So the costs will all be on him for the construction of it. Again, what we'll do is lease him the property. It's federally obligated property at the airport. So we can only lease the property, we can't sell it or do anything else. And with studies that we participated in, they were right around the average for a land lease rate. So he has approached us and would like to build that hangar. I'd like to draft up a lease as per usual with Mr. Mitchell, but I'd like in this one just to put like he has to start developing something within like 6 months or something. I don't want somebody just kind of hoarding the property. It's a pretty prime development site for us. It's one of the few sites left that still has utilities in the area. The next section that we'll hopefully go to is over here, but that doesn't have any utilities at the moment. So I'm just kind of looking for the committee's blessing to move forward with this. Again, I think the land lease, you're talking $1,200 a year. It's the ancillaries that come with it. We're moving more aircraft from Syracuse over to our airport. You start to see the fuel sales. They're also a little bit larger aircraft, and years ago, the airport got dropped down to a A1 classification, which basically is a little bit less funding from the FAA. So we're trying to get our traffic counts of the larger aircraft to get back up to A2 classification. Having these aircraft based at our field will help us get those traffic counts to get more funding from the FAA. So really what I'm asking for is just committee blessing to move forward with a land lease for this gentleman.
All right. Stick in my head. Oh, go ahead.
So Brandon, what kind of taxes are we talking? How big a building?
So this one will actually be 100 by 120.
It's a big building.
It is. That's actually, the reason for that limitation is anything above that, you need fire suppression inside the hangar, needs to foam fill like that. And, most people don't want to add that expense to it. It's also pretty dangerous stuff. So that's
structural foam?
12,000, yeah. No, it's a fire suppression foam. So the fire detector goes off.
So if it's bigger than 100?
12,000 square foot.
Okay. So I built 100 by 154 building on my own.
You're not commercial.
I understand that, but I know what it costs.
Right.
I want to know what rate he's going to be taxed at for that building.
Well, that's Valney's. I don't know what the tax rate is for Valney for the building.
What is the tax rate for the other? Do you have any other dwellings that size?
They're typically around. I think it's 1,000 per school, 1,000 for. I think it's somewhere in that area.
So
$2,000 total.
And they do their own utilities.
That's correct.
But on the one that we're leasing that was previously White's,
Yep.
we own it now
We-
because he was smart enough to sell it to us.
Yep.
And we're leasing it for $1,600 a month.
Yep.
and we're paying utilities, and we're heating the building. How big's that building?
12,000,
12,000 square feet.
It
Give me
is.
the measurements on that.
100 by 120.
Is that all structural foam inside
It's,
for
it's
insulation?
it's some structural insulation, but it's more like a bat type of thing.
Do we even
It's-
know what it costs for the utilities there?
I don't have the numbers right with me.
Okay, I just want to say this out loud because it's driving me nuts. I'm just giving a rough idea to myself on utilities. But right now, at 0% financing on that deal, it's gonna take us 80 years at 0% interest to recoup our investment. So have we done more on fuel sales?
We have, yes, yep.
Okay, and have fuel sales have an isolated account of
They do.
their own now? Go in and go out, just them?
Yeah.
Thank God.
We also do see with, if we're going back to the other hangar, we also do see, again, Constellation overnights. We get $400 for an overnight for their jet in there. We get $200 for an overnight with their helicopter in there. It also allows them to bring those aircraft to our facility in the winter, whereas if they couldn't get inside, they wouldn't come here. Then we also sell them 800 gallons of jet fuel per visit. So
So I hope they
there's a
come
lot
3
of-
times a week.
it's not quite 3 times a week, but we do see an increase. It's the ancillaries that come with it where we see a big increase.
I know that was a hang up before when we initially talked, and that was the reason why the utilities were paid by us, because the other ones that we rent out, that's the purpose behind that.
Right.
We rent the other
Yeah.
Have you got a cap on how warm they can run it in there?
Oh yeah. It's running 40 degrees, so it doesn't take much to. It's a very well insulated, very well sealed. It's
Not a big,
That's-
it's $1 million.
That's that steel, 6-inch foam steel stuff.
mhm.
Yeah, oh, it's definitely.
It's
I
insulated.
remember seeing that.
And then it's got some membrane over it also that also acts as a fall protection before you do anything up on the roof when you put the roof there. It's pretty serious.
But I remember when it was built that was discussed regarding the utilities. So, and that's why I know, because when you said that was driving a big one, how we do that. But yeah,
That was also purchased with tobacco funds.
understood. Anything else, Brent?
Not really, I'm just looking to approval to move forward on that one.
Okay, we don't need to.
Not really.
We don't
Kind of
know
a temporary
right.
plus.
Yeah. Good for that. Everyone, how's everyone feeling? No worries.
I'm opposed.
We were right here.
There you go.
So we'll draft up these and then we'll bring that to committee next month for that. Very good.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, on to central services.
With phase 2 of the video system upgrade project, we've got a little bit behind on that and revised the quote a little bit. Expect to have the final quote end of day tomorrow. We'll turn that around. We previously received funding for phase 2, I think before Christmas. The kind of the urgent part of that is the cameras for the health department. We have the majority of the cameras already. So as soon as they get the PO, they can get their techs scheduled in. He's there working now, actually doing the access control. So I'm not sure the timeline on that, but I think we'll be able to get that going pretty quick. And that will knock out the rest of that project as well, once the equipment comes in for other sites. So that's in the works. The network upgrade project, I originally scoped that as 5 phases. We purchased phase 1 and 2 that was funded. Making progress on that, a little bit slower than I would like, but the first station I'm looking to stand up on that is the health department, and have it ready to go for the 3 departments that are moving in there in the next couple of weeks. I think we'll be in good shape on that. Next committee cycle, plan to submit a request for the remainder of the funds to do phases 3, 4, and 5, to do them together and have that done by the end of this year. As we've gotten into the project, the benefits of it, the scope of it, the logistics of rolling it out makes sense to get on it and get it done. So I'll have a proposal for next month on that to finish out the project by the end of 2025. Part of what we've been doing as opportunity presents itself, you can see on the left, that's the main network room at the health department. On the left is what the rack looked like before. On the right, we've recabled it. There's some additional equipment toward the bottom of it. All the white gear there is the new Fortinet gear. Some of that is for the other switch closets in the building. There's 3 in the renovated section, 1 back by Assign Council, one in the Office of the Aging section, and then another one up for Board of Elections area. So some of that gear will go into those closets. I see the top part of that rack on the right, that's where our existing switches reside. So they'll get swapped out with some of those switches in the bottom when we light up the whole building. The fiber connections from front to back are done, so I'm waiting on some connectors tomorrow so I can get the Assigned Council switch closet lit up. And
You said it's in the health department?
yep, that's second floor of the health department. Yeah. So as we proceed through other buildings, I'll probably show you some other pictures. There are some that many of our racks look like that on the left. They're a mess. The approach to cabling, that was kind of how things were done in the past. You can't even see the switches in the lower part of that. You can't get to them. If one of them died, it would take quite a bit more time. What we're doing on the right with the short cables on the top, that's the way it should be done. You can see all the link lights on the switches, so it's just a proper way to do it. Some of those cables are, they're old anyway, so we discard them, or some we use as patch cables. But the intention is, as we work through buildings, as time permits, we will recable the racks. We'll clean all this up. Some of the locations, and I'll show you pictures of them as we proceed, are really embarrassments. I would hate for anybody outside the county to see them.
Definitely need it, or professional.
Yeah, exactly. So that's another thing we're doing, taking advantage of the opportunities to clean that up. Anyway, so that's the update on the network project. Some really great features in there too. When we get it all activated, it will be a big administrative advantage for us. I think it's going to come in a bit under budget. I probably shouldn't say that, but what I had forecasted, so I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but that's what I'm inclined to think once I get the numbers for the second phase together, and I'll have that for next committee. The other item that I wanted to touch on was the EVA program that DSS had purchased. We have been troubleshooting that for months. That is working now. We're back on with the publisher of that software, TIPCO, to get hopefully the final testing scheduled for that piece. We're with them tomorrow. What turned out to be the fix was something that was suggested by our phone system support provider back in November. The carrier, for whatever reason, didn't look at it, was dismissive of it. It's working now, could have been working back in November. So that's the good news. One of the strategies that I've been looking at and was side burnering for maybe later in the year or next year was to get established with another SIP trunk provider. The SIP trunks are what the phone traffic, the VoIP, the IP traffic leaves the county, leaves our buildings and comes back into them. So they're basically phone circuits, internet-based phone circuit. I've got a quote now. I've got to get with Holly some more on it, get a contract to pick up some SIP trunks with another provider. We currently have 210 through, meaning we can have 210 simultaneous calls, inbound, outbound, not counting internal calls, but desk-to-desk calls don't count in there. But reduce that number and move a small portion of them over to this other carrier. It's actually cost advantageous too, so we wind up saving a little bit of it. So I'll drop 30 off from the one carrier and add 30 with this new carrier. At least that's the proposal. That'll give us some experience with another carrier. There's more involved to be able to do like redundancy fail over from one carrier to another. It's not as simple as it with like just basic internet service. So there's some more we need to learn and figure out. But the point of this is to get established with another carrier.
See if it works.
Yeah, we've had a pretty good experience with our existing carrier, but there's times I don't think their bench is deep enough, and not always sure we get straight answers from them. But given this experience with even how long it took to get that problem resolved, I think we need to have some other options and get some stuff stood up sooner rather than later. So that's in the works as well. That's it.
All right, so I know that's been quite a while. That's been over a year now.
It's been months for sure.
So what you're saying is that it can now not only answer the questions for the employees, but answer the phone for people calling in and address some of their questions.
Correct. So the connection, when a client calls in and they choose to redirect to the EVA service, the connection, the redirect from the DSS main line up to the EVA service that resides in the Amazon cloud. It's a computer up at one of their data centers. It makes that connection. That's what was failing.
That's good.
Yeah.
Been almost a year.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
And it's not all on the carrier. I think I could have lit a fire under it more too, but not making excuses, but it's taking a lot longer than it should have.
That's a brain, I don't think anybody else is using it in their country. I think we're the first.
Other counties are using it. They were able to onboard quicker. I don't know if we were the first. We might have been the second or the third, but there's 2 or 3 other counties that are using it. Jefferson County, for example.
okay, all right. Thank you, Greg. And
I mean, they're not anything that you just have to go over, but every month now we'll be putting the up-to-date financial reports for the departments in the back of your committee packs if you want to look through them. That way, if you do have a department in front of your departments, you could ask them here at committee.
okay,
Sorry, I go, what is this?
no, you're Martino, my clear here. Take one better. Any opposed?
I brought my